Welcome to Web3 Women. We're back again. My name is Yinka, and I have next to me.
I'm Tam.
We are women that are in the blockchain ecosystem, and we're here to provide you with some insight about what's going on in this space, and also to showcase that women are working hard and participating in this space so that no one can say there are no women in blockchain, because we're here.
We are here and we're making a noise and we're creating and we're doing things differently, and we are still creating community just in a different way in the Web3 space. So we welcome you guys. Thanks for tuning in with us. We're excited. We got some great things to talk about today.
You know what, Tam? There's a lot going on right now in this ecosystem of ours. And it's not just centered on the ecosystem. We're realizing that there's a lot of people who are outside perpetrating like they were part of the ecosystem. And this all stems from the whole stablecoin demise, I guess. I don't like to use that word because I know there are some good stable coins out there. But in the news now, we're hearing a lot about Celsius and Terra Luna.
You gotta know what stable coins is. So we're gonna start with a little education piece on that, right?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. All right. So stable coins are cryptocurrencies that the value is pegged or tied to either the US dollar or some form of commodity. So you know that if that commodity or the dollar goes up, the stable coin also adjusts similar to that. So the value is actually tied to something that we know in real life, right? And so we have some stable coins like Tether. We have the USDT, as well as other stable coins that are out there. And then Terra Luna and Celsius were part of that whole stable coin world. And with the bear market, unfortunately, some of these stable coins did not perform so well. Terra Luna happened to be a stable coin that was actually pegged to an algorithm. I laugh.
Can we tell the people why that gives us a little bit of a chuckle?
Yes, because this algorithm is something that somebody came up with, right? Mm-hmm. And their algorithm really had no substance or no backing. When the market was fantastic, you know, their algorithm worked as promised, right?
Right. The algorithm was out here algorithming. Like it was doing what it was meant to do.
At that point, did you really need an algorithm? But hey. You know, because everybody experienced a bull run, right? Our last session, we actually talked about the difference between a bear market and a bull run.
Yeah.
This time around, we're seeing that within those two markets, you know, the world looks different, right? In the bull market or a bull run, you basically have everything is perfect, right? Everything is going up, everything is doing well. But then in the bear market, what happens, Tam?
The bear market, we rest. It seems like everything is sleep. Seems like everything is slowed down a lot, right? Because that market things have adjusted, and now it's seeming like it's resting. In this case, a lot of these stable coins are going. They're resting with the fishes at this point. They are asleep, okay? But yeah, that's what happens in the bear market.
Yeah, exactly. So we saw that it was not sustainable. We saw that it could not live up to the expectations when the market turns. So in this particular market, we were able to see that the algorithm that it was, you know, supposedly pegged to was not a viable algorithm. And then other fishy things happened with the founder that are being exposed. But because it's part of this decentralized, quote unquote, finance sector that we're in, we're realizing that a lot of other type of blockchain projects was also involved. So Celsius came into play, and Celsius was a blockchain project that basically, you know, was involved in the whole staking of your cryptocurrencies.
Yes.
And unfortunately, because Terra Luna went down in value, Celsius also experienced that volatility as well.
Yeah.
And it didn't
So,
stop there. Go
and
ahead.
yeah, it did not stop there. Let's talk about it. It did not stop there. So what we're finding now is that a lot of, as you mentioned before, is like a lot of these DeFi projects. What that tells me from looking at it, right, is that it can't be that DeFi. So what is DeFi? DeFi is decentralized finance, right? So that means that they're creating financial products that should not be controlled by a single entity, right? And that your money and your investments should be safe in these coins, because they're then tied to, like Yinka mentioned, commodities, right? So and things like the US dollar that we're familiar with, right? Now the problem with that though comes in that those same, because when it's tied to something, when it's pegged to something, what typically happens, if you think about a three-legged race, right? If you tie your leg to somebody else's leg who isn't as fast, who isn't as organized, who really is like they can barely walk on 2 feet well, right? And now you're tied to them. What's probably going to happen? You're not most likely going to win that race, right? Like, unless you have like the strength of the gods to pick up this person and make sure that you make it across the finish line together, you're 9 times out of 10 you're going to be suffering the same issues that your partner is. So with that in mind, if you understand what one of the biggest problems is with, say, the US dollar, inflation, right? The same thing is going to happen and be affected in a stable coin that is pegged to it.
And so we're seeing that's happening right now. And Celsius wasn't the only one that's currently experiencing hard times. There's been others. We know one particular hedge fund called Three Arrow Capital, or 3AC, as you may have seen some of the names. It is also experiencing issues, and they actually had to file Chapter 11 as well. And then there's another project or platform called Voyager. They also had to file bankruptcy. And then the last one recently, Celsius, even though there was a lot of people that was trying to keep them afloat, unfortunately, they ended up filing bankruptcy as well. So we're seeing the domino effect, and we're pulling back that hood and taking off that rose-colored glasses of ours and realizing that DeFi was really CeFi, centralized finance. And it also proves that we need to take a step back in this space, right? And really understand, what does decentralization mean, right?
Right.
And in order to not repeat the same mistakes, right? Because if the money that's funneling into this space is really from CeFi, then that means that CeFi owns this space, right? And we don't want them to own this space. It's supposed to be decentralized. I don't think Satoshi, right, would be happy.
Yeah, they would not be happy. Satoshi would not be happy. Like, this was not the point. Okay, the point was to literally allow people to take back their power from these CeFi institutions. But if you're just gonna say that it's DeFi when it's like CeFi wearing a mask and, like, look good in the bull run, like, that mini can, the bear market is gonna expose you. Like, it's gonna expose you. It's gonna expose a lot of the issues. It's gonna, and we're just gonna see the fallout the way that we're seeing it right now. Not just with stable coins, with NFT projects, with other coin projects, like, you name it. You could see the fires are burning, right? But there are certain, also, if you're paying attention and as you do your own research, right, you can also see where other projects are holding strong. They might have seemed lowered or whatever, like prices might have seemed to drop, but they're still holding strong, right? And so I think the longer that you're in the space, the more you're able to differentiate between the two. This is my first time being in the market and experiencing a bear market, and man, is it one to experience? Because wow, just wow.
Yeah, it is. But you know what? This is my, let's see. I'm probably counting all 5 fingers right now, because I've been in this space really since 2016. So I've seen, the real huge jump in 2017. Where Bitcoin was close to 20. It went from $3,000 to $20,000. And that was like the first time ever So everybody thought it was going to go higher. And then right after it crashed, right? And then what is it? I believe it was in 2020, or is it 2021? It also crashed too. It went back to $3,000. So, this is not new to, some people who've been here, right? And then definitely those who've been since the beginning, or at least close to the beginning, they've experienced, the volatility. So it's not new. However, I think for those, if this is your first time, I can definitely sympathize, because, this is it's a rough ride to go through right now, because you don't know which way is what. And the best thing to do, I would say, is stay away from the TV. Seriously.
I agree with that.
Don't listen to people who claim they know about this space. Stay away from YouTube that are telling you exactly. There's no experts in this. If somebody tells you they're an expert, run. Okay, there are no experts in this space. Okay, it's not. It has not been around enough for there to be experts. Okay, so that's a warning sign. That's a red flag right there.
Yeah, definitely red flag.
Exactly, right? But, there are people who've been here, who've experienced some things, and, they're not bothered. This is to be expected, right? You want this space to adjust itself, because if it's consistently going up, it defeats the whole purpose, then nobody really puts value behind it, because they're like, oh, it's a money grab, right? We don't want this space just to be a money grab. We want this space to be more than that. And so in this bear market, this is the time for you to really reflect and try to figure out why you're in this space. Is it just to grab money, or is it to build something that's decentralized? That means that you can participate on a greater level than you've been able to participate before. And a lot are being built in this space right now. And speaking of that, the federal government is coming into this space.
Yeah, that's another thing that we're experiencing right now, is that because of a lot of the issues and volatility we've seen with the stable coins and just the market itself, now we have the government inserting itself into what's going on. And they're doing that via President Biden's request for all the government agencies to find out more information. Right. I know he released that probably, I don't remember when that was this last month or maybe a couple months ago?
Yeah, a couple months ago.
Yeah, a few months ago when he first was like, hey, listen, I need everybody, all the government, of all you guys agencies, I need y'all to start looking at this. Let's get some information, right? So now, though, he's coming back again, right? And what is he telling us this time, Yinka? We're gonna link an article, because there's an article.
Yeah, we will. We'll post everything. So this is our hot topic. Hot topic.
Yeah, hot topic. Here we go.
All right. So for hot topic today, we're going to talk about the executive order that Biden signed for digital assets. And so this particular executive order, what's happening is that, as Tam mentioned, a lot of agencies are looking at how cryptocurrency as well as blockchain is going to either disrupt what they do or improve what they do, right? And how they can include it into the rules and regulations that's currently going on right now, or whether or not they need to create new rules and regulations. And so the U.S. Treasury has recently sent out a request for comment, an RFC is what they're calling it. And we will post the link for you below. If you are in this crypto space or blockchain space, or have participated in DeFi, have participated in NFTs, and even DAO, we encourage you to lend your voices to these comments that they're requesting. What's really important about this is that we know that regulations are coming. And what we want is for those regulations not to hinder our ability to participate as U.S. citizens and U.S. residents.
Yeah, if those type of regulations come into this space, it literally is going to affect everyone that is in here, everyone that's thinking about getting in, right? Because this is the first space that we've had to where you, just based on your knowledge, based on what you can learn, based on the time that you put in, you can invest in this space and you can create your own opportunity in it, right? Now, On the other side, traditional investing, right? You don't have that opportunity. Most average people, the average citizen does not have that opportunity. I mean, I know I don't have $1 million yet in income, like coming in on a yearly basis, as an individual. And it's unfortunate because, like, say I had what I do have, right, and I was able to invest in those traditional investment vehicles, I could be building, right? I could be building now, but they don't allow that. And so it's very important that we lend our voices, because we don't want this space to turn out just to be a repeat of Web2. Like, right, we don't want the same issues that we have in every market to be in our new system that we have the opportunity to build ourselves. So we got to make our voices heard. We got to say something, and we have to do it now, because if you also know anything about, as regulations come into the space, money flows out of it into the government's hands, right? It doesn't get reinvested back into the communities. It doesn't get reinvested back to you, the person that might have gotten to a project that, like, didn't go the way you want to go. You don't get that back, right? That goes straight to the government, and you never see it again. And so if you want to be involved in this space, and as you are involved, if you're thinking about getting involved, if you know other people that are involved, make your voices heard, right? Say something, see something, say something, right? If you, I think that a lot of people are getting hit with the FUD, like the fear, uncertainty, and doubt, right? Because of the different scams they keep hearing in the market, and the headlines that are coming out versus the projects that are really being built and that are on solid foundations. There's many of those out there. There's a lot of them out there, but they're just not being talked about as much in the media, right? So it's very important that we make our voices heard. I know a lot of the women that we've had in our space, a lot of our supporters, like, you guys are really about this space. So it's imperative that everyone says something. Check out the link below and start talking to your city council people, whatever branch of government that you can reach. Talk to them and let them know that we gonna be all right. We gonna be all right. We can figure it out. The biggest thing that I would say for me, I know that I'm going to push when I fill out my form, is that education is what's needed here, right? We don't need regulation. Education over regulation. Seriously, education over regulation, because more people that understand the technology, the less opportunity there will be for the bad actors. And that's what I feel like. Like, the more you know, right, the better you're able to protect yourself.
You know what? You couldn't have said it better. Education is very important in this space. And reading the RFC, the request for comments, they also stress the need for education as well. They understand that, right? And so if we as community let them know that we're participating consciously in this space, nobody's making us participate. And these are the reasons why we're participating. And these are the things that we don't want to see in this space. I think that will carry a lot of weight. The reason why I say that is because I come from that financial background, right? I've had several federal registrar type of requests for comments that has happened like this. Typically, they come when rules or policies have already been drafted. And so they want to know how the financial industry will apply those type of policies. And so they'll be looking for comments on how, viable is this particular policy to the industry. And people will provide all kinds of comments, from this is okay to, we hate this. This makes no sense. And we can't, spend the necessary resources to implement this. And we don't need it, So we want y'all to come with your raw comments and let them know. Let them know what you think. Let them know how valuable this space is to you, because honestly, they don't know. And so they want to know why and how is this valuable to people, and how can they make things safer and less riskier.
Yeah, again, once you've done your research in this space, and the thing about doing your research is just not about learning about Web3 and blockchain and like, NFTs. It's not just that. It's literally about taking a socioeconomic, historical look at the way that we got here through our currency, right? It's a new thing, and a lot of times new things can be dangerous, right? But once you get educated about them, a lot of that danger goes by the wayside, because now you can understand it more clearly, and you have a better opportunity to utilize it for something beneficial, is how I feel about it. So, absolutely get out here and make your voices heard.
Now it's time for tips. Last time you gave us some really good books for people to crack open, start reading, diving deep into the space, understanding what blockchain is. Today, you got other great tips.
Okay, so my first tip today is going to be, since we're talking about stable coins and we're talking about different coins, I'm going to take you to the coin that everyone should know. It's been called the grandfather of all the coins, all right, Bitcoin. And to me, you need to start right here with the Bitcoin white paper. Don't mind this right here. That's just some stuff still on it, but I use it a lot. So this is the Bitcoin white paper.
You can tell.
Yeah, you can tell I write this thing. It's been through a lot. But I read it, and sometimes I refresh myself, so I read it over and over again. Now, the reason why you should tap into the Bitcoin white paper, okay? Because first of all, like I said, it's the grandfather of all the coins, of the whole idea of cryptocurrency. And grandfather in the sense that even though it wasn't the first one, it's the first one that worked. So it's kind of the first one that matters, right? So you got to get educated about it. Now, around between pages 4 and 6, if you're just an average person like me, you can understand things that you read, but you're not maybe as mathy. It's gonna get some super heavy math. It's gonna happen. Don't be afraid. Don't be scared. Okay, stick to it, because by the end of this, you'll be able to walk away saying, okay, I might not have understood the math portion, but I understood its importance, and that's what you need the Bitcoin white paper for. So start there. Before you want to invest in any coins, before you want to invest in any projects, I suggest you start with the Bitcoin white paper. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2, the Little Bitcoin book. Okay, I like this book because it really gives you a simple explanation of what Bitcoin is, goes through a little bit about the creation of money, and simple explanation of what Bitcoin is and what it does in layman's terms. It also tells you why it's important to your freedom and your personal finances, and your future. It's literally right there in the title. Okay, so really good read, super easy to understand. It's only 100 pages. The last pages here are just some extra references, but look, it's a really simple read. You see all my highlights and stuff, and I carry this one around. It's like my little personal Bible if I need some quick Bitcoin information. But really, really good book to have, and help you along your journey of understanding, where these coins are coming from and understanding about the grandfather of all the coins. So the Little Bitcoin book and the Bitcoin white paper. Check them both out.
Man, you can't go wrong with those two, okay? Yeah. Bitcoin is the grandfather. It's where it all started. And as Tim mentioned, it wasn't the first digital currency. However, it was the one that was successful.
So that's what's important.
Right there. Also the one that basically started this whole blockchain ecosystem that we're building, and all the cryptocurrencies that right now, all 18,000 plus of them, started because a Bitcoin was successful. So it's important for you to go back and understand the reasons why Bitcoin even came into the play, because that will open up your eyes and make you understand why we seek decentralization, why it's important in this space. And it would also give you an understanding of what use cases there are. Because I know you guys, when the bull market was going on, everybody was telling you to jump into this, into that.
Yeah, this one looks nice. I like the way that one's spelled. Like whatever it was, they were telling you.
Man, I've had some people come into my clubhouse rooms talking about, there's this cryptocurrency and it's it's mimicking Doge and it's doing this. And I'm just like, wait, what? I'm like, they must not know who they're talking about, because I'm just like, hold up. So what's the use case?
Yeah, it's mimicking Doge.
I'm just like, wait, what? So when people start to talk like that, you want to know, what's the reason behind this? Because people can come up with all kinds of cryptocurrencies, but if there's no sustainable reason or use case behind it, why? Why be involved?
Why? You like losing money?
Exactly.
Listen, I don't judge, but
Hey, everybody thinks everything is going to go to the moon, right?
right.
So, yeah. Yes, do your own research. Make sure that you understand the reasons why you're involved in certain things, whether it's NFTs, whether it's digital currencies or digital assets or cryptocurrencies. And with that said, we're going to bid you adieu and make sure that you subscribe,
Subscribe. It's around here somewhere.
follow us, and stay tuned for the next Web3 Women.
Web3 Women coming to you.